Welcome to the Empty Nest Kitchen, where we're finding fun in the kitchen now that the kids have flown the coop. I'm Christine Van Bloom, a cooking teacher with over 25 years of experience, here to show you tips, tricks, and joy in your kitchen, all while trying something new. Let's get cooking.
Well, hey there, and howdy do. I am always thrilled when I have somebody lovely on. But today I have an extra special dose of lovely because I have got Emily Lutz on here. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good. Always happy to be talking to you.
I'm so thrilled to have you here. And I'm talking to Emily while she is in New Jersey, northern New Jersey, where she runs her business, Liberty Paperwork Solutions. And I know some people's eyes will glaze over immediately when they hear the word paperwork. But I just think what you do is so important. Emily, tell everybody what it is that you do.
So we take care of everyone's administrative chores, which basically means keeping their bills up to date and keeping track of everything, watching to make sure nothing funny is going on, and really taking that stress off their plates.
I love this. I remember when I first started personal chefing like 120 years ago. I went to some family, the county south of me, which is just outside of DC, and they said, "Oh, they're so fancy here. They have somebody that pays all their bills and does all of their stuff for them." And I remember thinking, it is the pinnacle of fanciness to have somebody do that for you, but really it's not, is it?
No, it's people hadn't heard of it for a while. It's called daily money management. So everyone thought it was a little fancy schmancy, but really it's becoming more and more common, and even people getting everything set up. So if the day comes that they do need a little assistance, then it's just a seamless transfer. So it's almost like it's just becoming much more householdy type of
Kind of
regular
mainstream.
thing.
Yeah. So do you do this for a certain demographic, or is it kind of like, give me, what's your average kind of customer like or client like?
So yeah, it's really I summarize them into two buckets, and one is it's really people who really have difficulty keeping up on it themselves, and that can be people's elderly parents. It could be people who have special needs, people just with ADD, people who it's just really not their thing. Actually, it's not something they enjoy. So that's one bucket, and then the other bucket is people who are quite capable of doing it, but rather spend their time doing something else.
I like that. That's where I would fall right now.
Yeah, it's a chore.
It is a chore. I remember my mom has since passed, but my brother started taking over her bills, right? And my brother's amazing. He's so great and trust him completely. No problem. But I started looking into some things because he was just making sure that bills were getting paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I started looking and I saw that, I won't name them because I'm so mad at them, but there was a place, where you send your DNA to find out about your heritage and all of that.
For sure.
And she was getting charged like $140 a quarter. I mean, it was just I was so mad. And then all of the magazine subscriptions that were on auto renew, and there were so many things. And I remember going through in one afternoon, saving her something like $1,000 right out of the gate by just looking at these things.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Paying a bill isn't difficult. That's not the hard part. What we really do, the value of what we do is watching everything, keeping an eye, and yes, saving money for just that reason. Things get on there and they just never seem to come off.
Yeah. Do you have any particularly egregious examples of things that you found?
I know there was a woman one of our clients in a nursing home, and when her daughter brought us on to look at everything, she had been paying a cell phone bill. So it wasn't inexpensive.
Right.
And she hadn't had a cell phone for years.
Oh,
So it was just, oh,
that's a cost of bringing you on right there, Emily.
I said, we paid for it.
Well, and I know that you actually helped out someone in my family at one point.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was, I mean, that was so helpful.
She was, well, yeah, she was lovely. And really, actually, it's also just, particularly seniors, but it can be anywhere, they're nervous. They're nervous that the bills are getting paid. So that's just really a lot of reassurance.
Yeah.
You show them, look, all the bills were paid this month. And that's actually a big part of it too. Just letting them relax, because it's nerve-wracking.
So you work with, I mean, I guess, are we the sandwich generation still now that our nests are emptying out?
I guess if there's a technical definition, probably not.
Yeah.
We'll keep our children alive.
When my parents both passed, I remember calling myself an open-faced sandwich. And I was like,
that's bad.
but I handle the game with really dark sense of humor. So
A lot of people, the protein though, you still have a little lower.
There's a lot of cheese involved. I'm just gonna say. So I guess it's kind of like, this is something, doing the paperwork, and you have a certification and all. What's it called again?
So people are always like, how'd you come up with that? And I'm like, I didn't. There's a whole American Association of Daily Money Managers. So I'm called a Daily Money Manager. We don't do any investing. We just help with the day-to-day finances.
What made you want to do this? What was the thing?
So my son had just started school, and I was really looking for something to do that was flexible. And I searched for months, actually. I didn't want to just do anything. And I found this association, and it jumped at me because I was already doing it for my grandmother. She was already starting to have difficulty keeping up with everything, and I was meeting with her once a month, and we were paying the bills together, and she loved it, and I loved it, and it just jumped. I said, wow, a lot of people have that need. And so I started in 2007.
Oh, so you've been doing this for a hot minute. And do you do a lot of it remotely?
Yes. Before COVID, pre-COVID, it was, I would say, half and half. We do a lot of it out of the office, and then the other half we'd actually be going and sitting with clients. And then when COVID came, we screeched into fully remote. And then we found that to be really very efficient. So we are still really, I would say, 95% remote.
So you still have a couple of people you meet with directly?
We do, yeah. Some people, yes, they just really enjoy the visit, and so we've continued with them.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's actually lovely.
Yeah, sometimes the FaceTime, everything is so much more efficient now, right? Everything is, you have to say, COVID was awful, but efficiencies did come out of it.
Oh, no question.
Right, which I think is neat. Now, do you operate only within the state of Jersey, or can you be all over?
So yeah, the remote allows us to be all over.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. So I have clients spread out in different states, and I have clients I've never met.
You clients you've never met?
Yeah. So they live
but
in a
they
different
trust
state.
you.
Yes. So there's a lot of trust involved, because we do have access to their accounts. And I get it. When sometimes they call me and their first thing is like, why should I trust you? And I'm like, I understand what you're feeling. And that's how come now all of our clients are from referrals.
Oh,
it's hard for someone to just do a search online and find us and then want to hand over their bank account information.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm guessing you're providing reports and all of that sort of stuff to folks.
Oh, no, absolutely. And we will never, because we have access to finances, we will never be the only one that has access to an account. We insist that the client themselves access that, maybe a trusted person.
Yeah. I think also when I know you work with folks of all ages, right? I know that I could hire you. I
Right.
could hire you tomorrow and say, Emily, oh dear, please help me. I don't want to do this anymore. And
Right.
I would like to think I am of sound mind at this
I
point
would
in my
I
life.
would my medical analysis is you are. Yes.
I think half credit at best, but you know, I think when you do end up dealing with people who are getting a little older, I think sometimes there can be some issues of, maybe not trusting as much. So I think that is really great having all of
Right.
that availability.
No, and the truth is too, people have had these full lives and they've never heard of this service. So of
Yeah.
course, they grew up hearing of an accountant. They've heard of that. They've heard of a doctor. They've heard of this and that. They never heard of a daily money manager. So of course it would be suspect.
So let's say, like, describe your average person to me. Say I have an aunt that I am helping care for, and I'm like, you know what? This is not something I want to handle. Like, what's the process?
So I have exactly that. I have someone who just came to me. Their mother has been, slowly having memory issues, and it's a slow process. It's not sudden. And they've been slowly taking everything over. And now she says, I feel so bad because now I get annoyed a little when she keeps calling me to
Yeah.
ask about certain things. And when I go to visit her, it's just me, trying to get through her mail and make sure there's no problems and make sure everything's up to date. And it takes away any time for their sitting and visiting with each other and acting like a mother-daughter. So she's pulling me in so I can take that piece of it off her plate. And then, there'll be plenty of other stuff to worry about, but it won't be that. We have a lot of our clients, all of their mail and certainly their bills come directly to us.
Oh,
So
really?
it's not even for a place for them to still get a bill, still wonder if it's being paid, even if it says on it being paid automatically, which they don't all say. It takes away their confusion, and they aren't waiting every day for their gas and electric bill. They don't necessarily know that it's not coming. They just are being reassured that it's being paid.
So all of those things, I mean, listen, my mom died a little over 2 years ago, and I am still getting mail for her here from like renew this membership or gosh, I can't even think of some of them. Oh, all the charity things that are
Yeah.
like make a donation today because I mean they know what they're doing, right? So, I get that still. So I can't imagine. It's so nice thinking that they just wouldn't even have to think about that.
Right. And I have some clients, all of their mail comes to me. So when there's sometimes they get a birthday card. If they're close enough, I drop it off or I
Oh,
send it, or I actually send it via or
no, really?
yeah, or I have to, people, yeah, you have to get it. Or people if they want to buy them a gift, they send it through Amazon because the mail would be forwarded. Sometimes I get their gifts. So this
Yeah.
gift comes to Amazon, it goes straight to the address.
That is so funny.
Yeah. So for just that reason, the solicitations are unbelievable. I mean,
They're
it actually,
unbelievable.
it makes me angry. The second they get, not all of them, the second they get a donation, they're sending out another request. And for people who don't keep track and don't remember, it's terrible.
What would be our process for getting started?
Yeah, so that if someone is pre-planning, that's
Yeah.
like the greatest thing, and no one does that. But then every once in a while, I get a call from someone who is like, particularly solo agers, so maybe never married, no children,
Okay.
and I get calls from people sometimes that are just like, everything's fine now, but I know the day might come, and I would like someone else to be able to step in and continue paying all my bills and taking care of everything instead of me trying to start messing it up or look for a stranger or some accountants do it. But that's the greatest thing. We go through all their bills. I get all their access and I'm just kind of waiting. And every 6 months or so, we chat again and talk about the new accounts that have been opened and, that sort of thing. Then there's also the other side of the coin, which is all emergency. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
they, there's been an accident or something sudden happens and they can't go back to their house and no one knows what's going on. And then it's a little bit like forensics.
Yeah.
That's
Parents are hard.
it's hard. And you just, you figure it out. Listen, at the end of the day, so if the electric bill gets paid a month or two late, I'm not saying it's ideal, but it's okay.
Yeah.
You figure it out. But it's if you have, it's so interesting. If I went up to someone and said, "Can I look at your credit card statement and your bank statement?" Most people would be very like, "Oh, no, thank you." I would say that if you asked me, like,
Of course.
well, you don't have to see that I keep buying like the little, whatever I buy.
A $5 spot at Target. What do they call
Right.
that? Yeah.
Right. It's all
Yeah.
on there. Or that I'm clumsy and I keep breaking my thing and I keep having to buy a new thing, whatever. So it's personal. But with those two things, I not only can see their monthly bills, their quarterly bills, I can see I can check if their property taxes are up to date. I can see if their insurance has been paid. If they haven't been paid, it's hard to see. And and I actually even see their spending trends. Not that I spend a lot of time on that, but I can know if I see their credit card, maybe a charge I should question them on. Right?
And question them how?
Well, I'm monitoring their credit card statements. So I see that all of a sudden there's a $500 charge from a rug store. And I'm like, I don't really know why. They don't just seem to be someone to buy a new rug.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. Okay.
I don't know if that's the best analogy, but people tend to buy from the same place over and over.
You have
again.
patterns. Everybody has patterns.
Right. Yes. So if you see something out of the pattern or that's a little unusual, I don't even mean by dollar amount. It can be a smaller amount. I'll know to give them a buzz and just be like, "Hey, you noticed this, this charge?" Because the whole trick is like catching it early. If someone else gets a hold of their credit card number, which happens like constantly, catching it fast is the key to life. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it is so neat being a daily money manager. And I mean, good gravy, math was not my strong suit. So you must really enjoy the numbers.
Yeah, nerd would be probably one of my, a little bit of a nerd. But I like that. And you also feel like, honestly, the really nice part of it is you feel like you're helping people. Like people are very thankful. And that's the best part of it, really.
That's so good. And then how do you charge for something like this?
Yeah, so I charge just hourly.
Just hourly.
Yeah, just for the time. So usually when you start with someone, it's a little higher hours because you're getting everything together.
Sure.
But once things are set up on auto pay and we're just monitoring, it's literally just an hour or two a month.
Really? That easy?
Yeah, it's all automated. We keep track of all the transactions so we can get everything to the accountant at the end of the year. Sometimes lawyers need information. We have it all. We have it all at our fingertips. So it's not difficult.
What is the youngest client that you've got?
I have someone in their 40s.
Yeah. See?
Which I call young. Some daily money managers actually have a niche for like recent college graduates, which I think is so interesting. Some of them graduate from college and they really don't know how to pay bills and manage their money. They actually haven't really been doing it.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Because remember, we used to have to go get the stamp and write the check and put it in the envelope and mail it so we get to the credit card company in time. And I mean,
yeah. Oh, no. It's a different. A friend of mine was telling me she had a contractor at her house. She had a contractor at her house. And so she wrote him out a check.
Yeah.
A young guy, a contractor, a young guy. And she hands him the check. And he looked at the check and goes, "Oh my God, script." Just age us, Yeah, everything's changed. Everything's changed. Gen X. Are you Gen X? I think you're Gen X.
Yeah.
So Gen X is the last generation that grew up without the internet.
Yeah.
Our arc is insane.
Yeah.
Really. No one else. Our kids grew up already, on the computer. They don't. Right. And the older generation is past it. So we really, it's a
Yeah.
new, and we dragged into, I didn't want to, trust me, learning the computer, I was forced at my job. Like I didn't, it's, I mean, we're here now, but yikes.
Don't you remember when we used to call them Mac machines, but the ATMs? I mean, I remember going to one, I went to a little town for school. The ATM at one end of town only gave out in $10 increments because it was the
Okay.
80s. And if you walked to the further one, they'd give out $5 increments. And if you were going to the bars, that was really helpful because you could get 2 amaretto sours and leave a tip for $5.
I'm going to write that down.
Oh my gosh, I know. I'm so
delicious.
Oh, an amaretto sour? Emily.
Yes.
So 80s. So 80s. So delicious. I'm telling you,
I have it right here. I used to do amaretto by itself, but it's a sour part.
I do when it's a really cold night.
Yeah.
I have a big bottle and I put in a little snifter and it'll warm. You know how you hold it so it warms in your hand a little? I'm like a Bond villain waiting to happen with my amaretto snifter. I only do it like once a year, but I love it.
That sounds so nice. That sounds very warm. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
You know what one of my favorite birthday parties was?
What?
When I turned 40, which we've just discussed this some time ago. My dear friend Laura,
who is my sister-in-law,
had the greatest person over for a cooking.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I forgot all about that. Oh, and your kitchen was so cute. Was that yours?
I mean, no,
somebody else had just like redone it.
It was just redone.
Yeah.
And we had aprons, and it was one of my favorite birthdays.
Oh.
Your energy and what fun.
Oh my gosh.
Making cooking fun. And she sent it to the right person because I am, a little challenged.
Listen, my mother-in-law used to say, and I swear I say it, if not every day, every week, your strengths lie in other areas. And she would say that to me. And at first we get a little prickly about it. And now I'm like, no, that's a really nice thing. Like, that was a really sweet thing.
That can flip either way. I'm glad you're taking it.
Knowing her, I'm not sure which way it was coming,
right.
But
that's right.
I have decided to own it as we can't be. I know that as women of a certain age, we're expected to be good at everything, right? Like it's just what's expected. And I have finally realized that I don't have to be good at everything. And sometimes I can just do something because I like doing it, not because I'm going to try to create a business out of it or make money from it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's taken me a long time because I love have you ever played with the clay, like the polymer clay, and they make all the cute earrings and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have every supply needed. Because I don't do anything small, right? Like I am not good at moderation in any aspect of my life. So I have, all of the little pieces to make earrings and to make necklaces and to make all the things and all of the clays and all of this. And I was like, do I have to make a business now? And it's like, no, you can have the sweet little 10-year-old over. And apparently I made earrings with a former neighbor. She's just the cutest thing ever. And now she's the earring girl at school. And it's like, oh, so you can just do it. So you can do the stuff that you really like I like the cooking. And then you can hire you to handle all of that stuff that I'm not good at, that I don't like. And
I went through this stage, yet another stage, where, I always thought what's your purpose in life? I was like, my purpose is to raise a family. Like that always just, right. That was
resonated.
Yes. That's right. I was like, that's why I'm here. And now, I still have a family, but, they don't need active raising. So I went through what's my purpose?
Yeah.
And I've been researching. I've really been working on it. And again, it comes to learning. I tried to take money out of the equation just because
Good for you.
well,
Yeah.
I'm still a daily money manager.
Yeah.
But for the other stuff, yeah, and it sounds like that's what you're finding. You're so creative, and you're creative in many different avenues.
What are you finding?
So I'm still in progress, but I realized what makes me the happiest was when I leave someone's house and they feel so much better than before I got there. While in the case of work, right? I get there and they're nervous and they have a stack for me and they're really anxious. And we get there and we can talk and we laugh and I'm not, paying bills, I'm not all, you don't have to be all serious about it, right? Bills
Right.
can be, you can make jokes and you can talk and have fun and get it done. And when I leave there, I feel them. I feel it. And that's the greatest thing for me. So I'm trying to look for something else I can do to help people find their community or find, other venues where they could have that same ability to, talk with someone else and feel that bonding or relaxation or whatever it is.
Yeah. I think you're kind of hitting the nail on the head because I don't think we're alone in this. I think that women who are our age, right, we'll say 50s, right? Women who are this age we're really going through such a fundamental change. And I think it's so different from when you're young and fresh and, the world is your oyster and we've got stuff now. We have had partners and maybe we still have spouses. Love mine, yay. And the kids you've spent all of this time really pouring into
Yeah.
your kids, right? And then they kind of and all of a sudden you really have to search for purpose. And I think a lot of people look at their jobs and their jobs don't give them that purpose anymore. I love that yours gives you that purpose. But I want to call you out for something else that I think is super, super cool because you have a lot of very strong female friendships.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I do. I have a few that I treasure. That is
Yeah.
true.
So
Yes.
you guys, so Emily is friends with my sister-in-law, Laura, who is one of my favorite people in the whole wide world.
Me
And
too. Me
she's
too. Unbelievable.
totally love her. But
Mhm.
you all have this little group that like with birthdays, like tell everybody what it is that you guys do because I just think it's so cool.
Yeah, and you know what? It's such a lovely group. It is just whenever I gather with them afterwards, I come home and I'm like, it was just easy. It was just easy. So yeah, we try to get together for birthdays. We don't
You
always
guys do like a thing for birthdays. It's not oh we'll go to lunch. You guys do like a thing.
That's probably also thanks to Laura.
It is.
Well,
She's a ringleader.
yeah.
She
Yeah.
is. I'm so
I
glad she uses her powers for good.
I grab onto her coattails and go for the ride.
Well,
Yeah.
they all get together and like you'll do an event, right? Like you're always sure to do something. I know you've gone and
What?
you have an evening.
For the holidays, we just had we gathered for our little, Christmas time brunch, and someone suggested instead of buying each other little gifts, we make them.
Yeah.
For me, right-brained, whatever I am, not something I was like, oh my God, I start Googling. So I walked around my house and I found I have a bunch of corks. I saved all the corks from the wine.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you how many. So if you, craft with corks, I made a trivet.
Oh, that's nice.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good one. And
so-
cork is a great trivet.
Guess how much creativity that takes?
How much?
0.
See,
You
I
just-
disagree.
You just glue them together.
But I disagree. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, that's it.
I love that. But do you think that having the really strong female friendships at this point in your life, because a lot of people start to get lonelier at this point when the kids are gone. And
And that's no, I know how valuable that is. It's the most valuable thing, honestly. And if I can help other people somehow make those connections, that would be a dream of mine. Yeah. It is it's what really life's all about.
That's so good. That's so good. Emily, I'm so grateful for you coming on today and introducing people to the idea of the daily money manager.
Well, thank you for having me. This flew. Woof.
It's so fast. I told you.
I was like, wait, we just started.
It's so much fun to do. I'm super grateful that, this is a thing, right? This is one of my things that I'm doing it only because I love it and because I get to talk to, truthfully, the neatest people, the coolest women. And it's just been so much fun learning about what people are doing, whether it's something new or whether it's making wine cork trivets, which takes zero creativity, which I disagree with. But if somebody wanted to ask you more questions or get the lay of the land, where can they find you?
I have my website, libertypaperworksolutions.com.
And I'm going to put a link in the show notes and all of that good stuff, because I will tell you, I just think it's such a neat service. And I know you can be any age to utilize it. I totally understand that. But as somebody who's gone through, parents aging, like so many of us, I always say my 4 listeners. So my 4 listeners, I'm sure they're in the same boat. It's really such a valuable service. So thanks for offering it. And Emily, thanks for taking the time to be here.
Oh my God. Always so fun talking to you.
Oh my gosh, you're the best.
Keep doing it.
You keep sending cool women my way. I'm telling you, I am looking for the neatest people. And it's like, it doesn't have to be the job they do. It can be something they do on their own.
I'm putting that underneath amaretto sour.
Amaretto sour, and I'm telling you, do the sour mix the right way. Do the sour, and it's so funny because almost every woman I've talked to about this, I've said, "Listen, you would be so great. I would love to just have a conversation with you," and they all say, "Oh, I don't think anybody would want to hear. I mean, I don't have anything valuable to." I stop them and I'm like, "You're so cool, and you don't even see how cool you are." All of the women that I'm closest to, they're like, "Oh no, what would I talk about?" So I'm like, "You're amazing. Talk to me."
And you're gonna bring it out. So that's
stop. All right. So you can find Emily at libertypaperworksolutions.com. And if you have questions, please reach out to her. She's just cool. And you're going to love to know what she knows, and she'll lend you a hand there. So, as always, I'm so grateful for everybody taking the time to listen, and I'll see you in the kitchen.